Understanding the backup system. In the Understanding Your Computer section, we only discussed the hardware aspects of the backup and archiving drive. We will now spend a little more time discussing what the three drives are used for. Please refer to the diagram here that I have up on my screen. So recall that there are a total of 5 hard drives involved in this scenario. So there are 2 internal drives, which we see here, and then we have 3 external drives. So I've kind of diagrammatically drawn in 3 external drives. So 2 of them are backup drives, and 1 of them is a system restore drive. Now, as far as differences in hardware goes, it's pretty much a size thing. Maybe this system restore drive is a little bit more smaller than these 2 backup drives. And some people choose to make them all the same size. Like all of these maybe 2 terabytes, and some people may choose to make these backup drives 2 terabytes and the system restore 1 terabyte. It's totally up to you what size you purchase for these drives, as long as you can get all of your data in a copy of your operating system to fit onto this drive. So back to our scenario here. So up here at the top we have 2 internal hard drives. And internal basically means that the drives are located on the inside of your computer. So we can see here that these 2 drives are inside of our computer. And then these 3 backup drives, these 3 external drives, are located outside of our computer. So I'm going to kind of define what each of these drives are about. So we have SATA 1. Remember, in understanding our hardware, this very bottom drive was called SATA 1. This is where our operating system is located. So this is a popular place where viruses will definitely like to hit, because it's going to look for your user account information, which would likely be stored on SATA 0 or the C drive or operating system drive. And the drive right above it is SATA 1, and this is called our working drive. This is where all of our data or works in progress that we're currently doing for the semester would be located. It would be located on this drive. We would put it on this drive because it is an internal drive, meaning that it's going to be a lot more faster than the external drive. Recall that when we plug something in externally, it's got to go through all those cables and outside of your computer to get data and to send data back. So by having it internal, it's going to be much more faster. So when we choose a working drive, we always make sure that it's some internal drive, if at all possible. So now we have backup drive 1 over here on the lower left. So remember, this is a diagram. So this is actually an external drive. This is where you would back up and archive data from SATA 1. So all of your working drive data would get backed up here. This is also where you can archive your data. So when you're completely done with a project, there's no reason to have it on SATA 1 taking up resources. So we usually back that up to the backup drive. And then backup drive 2, this is basically a copy of what's on backup drive 1. So what we usually do is copy and paste all of our important data and archive stuff onto backup drive 1. When we're done, we plug in backup drive 2 and just copy and paste data over so that we have it in 2 physical locations. Recall that we don't have to have an actual physical drive. This backup drive 2 could be cloud storage. And now over here, our last one, this is called System Restore Drive 1. This is where we create a System Restore image of SATA 0. So let's just say that SATA 0 happens to get eaten up by a virus, and we have to reformat to remedy the problem. So what we do is we would reformat the disk and not do a complete install of Windows, just wipe this out. And then once it's done, we plug in this System Restore drive, and then we restore the image back onto this SATA 0 drive. So over here I have another diagram illustrating exactly what I just talked about, but more diagrammatically. So here we have SATA 0, which is our red box here, called the operating system drive. And we have SATA 1, which is our working drive. And then I have my two backup drives sitting right above it. So this is where I would back up my working data to these two drives. And then down here we have SATA 0 operating system drive. This is where I would create a system restore image onto this orange diagrammatic box here, which would indicate this is where I would make a copy of my operating system, so I don't have to reinstall all of my programs if my operating system drive dies or is eaten by a virus.